You ready? You ready? You ready?
Because we ready for them. Let them know we ready for them. Don't tell them so. That's how we feed them. Let them know. We hit them with it. Connection time.
You know what we're gonna hit them with?
All the people, are you ready? We gonna hit them with the boom, bam, bam. Grandmaster's band gon' make it running. Gon' make it.
On election day, we're gonna hit them with the whoop whop. On election day, we're gonna hit them with the whoop whoop. Because it is time to get the rid of them. Time to get the rid of them.
Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Get rid of them.
It is so good to be here in Victory. I don't know if you remember the last time we were in Victory. Do you remember it? Just down the road there, I think. On a little hill going up there. It was the last public meeting we had before the pandemic. You remember that? And we had the energy going. And that is why Timothy Harris and his government at the time could not allow us to stay on the road. Because it is Labour who run the road. It's Labour who got the heavy roller. And so it is so good to be back here in Victory. But after tonight, there will be no lockdown. There will be no shutout of the Labour Party. We will be able to continue to go door to door to seal the next victory and return this party to government on August 5th of this year.
We're ready for the road.
Comrades, I want to endorse our comrade Kenny from this area. Kenny is everything you would want in a representative. Every single thing you can want. He is born in the community. He is of the community. He cares and loves people. He has left a footprint all across this nation for his contributions in teaching and in sports. All he thinks about is how is it he is going to better the lives of his fellow men and women in his community and in his country. When we speak, Kenny always talking about what are his plans for constituency number 5. He talks about when he gives ideas, others are quick to run and do them. Because his heart and his mind is always on the people, or are always on the people of constituency number 5. And so I'm asking you, on election day, August 5th, go out and give your X to Kenny Douglas, the Labour Party candidate for constituency number 5. Many people thought that there was a giant here in constituency number 5. But as Dr. Drew said, he is weak or soft in the middle. And it is Kenny who has the stamina that is necessary to rise Sandy Point once again. And so I want you to give him that opportunity to join us on Church Street, in Parliament, and in Cabinet to serve the good people of constituency number 5. But just like I want you to return constituency number 5 to red, I want to report to you that constituency number 3 will be turning completely red after the next general elections. We will win every single box in constituency number 3. Every single box we're gonna win. Every single box we're gonna win in constituency number 3. Every day, I am bombarded by the stories of complete disappointment with the outgoing representative. After 6 years on the government benches, 4 years as a senator, 2 years as a minister. Akila's best defense of her time on the government benches is to lie, lie, and lie some more. Queen Liar, yeah, you want me to change the song from King Liar to Queen Liar? And you know the song, Columbus lie, Aquila lie, banana banana, Aquila lie, banana banana, Aquila lie, banana banana, Aquila lie, lie, lie. Look it up and learn it. Shadow sing it. Shadow, Columbus lie. Learn the tune and so maybe we get a remix. But just lying for no reason. But it comes from the fact that she has nothing to defend. And trying to compare her time on the government benches with my time on the opposition. Imagine she is in power. She has the government on her side. Telling people she can't do anything and saying, well, Konris ain't do anything. Well, I have never been in government, Akila. In case you didn't realize. I have never been a minister of government. I have never had the power of the pen as you do. But you have no record to show for that. None whatsoever. You see, she didn't hit the ground running. She relaxed. She thought she had plenty time. And now she's all about saying she didn't have enough time. That 2 years is not enough. But you know, what is unbelievable in all of this? And I know someone is listening right now in Boyd's, close to the Bronte Welsh Primary School, asking whether or not we were going to speak because Dr. Drew was speaking. But what is amazing and unbelievable about Akila is how she has treated the people of Boyd's, West Farm, and Palmetto Point. Because if it were not for them, Akila would not today be a minister of government. It is Boyd's, West Farm, and Point that put her over the hump. When we left the village, we were in front. And it is Boyd's, West Farm, and Points who put her over the mark. But she has turned her back on them. It is an amazing thing. Akila started a whole ministry. I was responsible for a new ministry. And you could hardly find anybody from constituency number 3, much less Boyd's, West Farm, and Points working in her new ministries. They have said they can't see anything for their vote. And every day I am getting calls that they're saying, Konris, you know we didn't have anything against you. But they came and they lied to us and said something about can do, and they could do. But now they're saying Akila can't do shh. Akila can't do shh. That's what they're telling me. Can't do. And they are turning her back, their back now on her. The real reason they put off the thing last week wasn't the weather. Any rain come? Not a drop. It is because they could not rally the support in the area. They couldn't find people to properly endorse Akila. The team is dissipating because they have now come to see the real Akila. They have now come to see the incompetence of Akila. They have now come to see why it is that Timothy Harris could have 15 houses free and all over by him and none for constituency number 3. They have now come to realize the incompetency when you have a deputy prime ministership to give and you pass over Akila and give it to Sleepy Hammy, who don't have no more future in politics. But for the people of Boyd's, West Farm, and Points who are listening tonight, and I know you are, better is coming. Better is coming. And with Konris Maynard as your next representative and Minister of Government in a Labour Party government, we will deal with some of the issues you've been complaining about. The infrastructure in the Trinity Hills above Anglican Church. Just 2 days ago, I was speaking to some persons in the area who were lamenting how it's so painful to see older people having to trot up those dangerous dirt tracks with heavy bags. Possibly could slip and fall because it is so precarious and dangerous. Under the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party, Konris Maynard will ensure that the roads, not only in Trinity Hills, but Boyd's View and West Farm, and up by Shadwell and Shadwell West and South, you will get your infrastructure. There are still serious water issues in Trinity. I was visiting a house that is a 2-story house. And they said they can't get water upstairs. How the water pressure so low. And Akila going around saying she fixed water problem. Just lying. The fishermen in the Points area, they have an issue where they can't pull their boats out of the water because of something that was built there in their way. I want to tell them that I am aware of your issue, and we will get the proper landing for you so that you can easily remove your boats out of the water when there is bad weather. Right now we have to carry your boats all the way to New Guinea to get your boats out of the water. We are going to make sure that the fishermen in the area can have easy access to get their boats out the water. Another complaint I hear all the time for the people of Boyd's, West Farm and Points is that every time some land open up, they can't count on their hand how many people from the community get in land. It's everybody from everywhere else. And so I want to give you the commitment that the native residents of Boyd's, West Farm and Points will always have first preference to any new lands in the area. You deserve it. And as your area continues to grow, we have to make sure you have all the amenities such that you don't have to travel far. And so I give a commitment to getting a multi-purpose community center featuring a possible daycare and a preschool in partnership with community stakeholders. With the new businesses that will flourish in the area and some that exist today, they are taking up residential lots to do their business. And so we are going to provide a commercial park so that businesses that need space, like mechanics and so, will have a place to develop their businesses. Comrades, residents of Boyd's, West Farm and Points, you gave Akila a chance and she blew it. And I want to tell you that Konris Maynard will make things right because I am the real man for you. I am the man for number 3. I am the man who is going to perform in that area alone. When I only had 1 year with a Labour Party government, I was able to do more than Akila who had 6 years with a unity government. I built a whole playfield with a pavilion. We renovated an entire community center. We paved roads. We built sidewalks. We built homes. We gave scholarships. And she cannot have a record to compete with that. And so your choice is clear in Boyd's, West Farm and Points, that the man for you is Konris Maynard. Comrades, as Minister of Health, you know the failures of the minister at our hospital. It is in dire straits. It is crumbling before our eyes. And so we give a commitment in the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party that we will transform JNF into a modern state-of-the-art hospital. But our approach to healthcare will be a 3-pronged approach. It will not just be about building a state-of-the-art hospital, but it will also be about retraining and recertifying our staff, making sure that we provide an environment that they love to work in, and making sure that they are paid according to their qualifications. We will also have to ensure, as the third prong, that we bring to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis universal healthcare coverage, so that you don't have to go bankrupt to deal with your basic medical health affairs. That you don't have to die because you do not have any money to pay for the health care. And so we give a commitment that we will bring these things on board to completely transform our healthcare sector here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Unfortunately, we've had somebody who has been hiding from the work. Hiding from the work. And while she's hiding, little children are dying. While she's hiding, people are dying from asthma attacks. And seemingly has no care. As though nothing is happening. And you can go about your jolly way. Well, those days are numbered. In 2 weeks, we will have a reset in this country. And you here in Fig Tree and across the country will put a St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party in government to correct all these things and move our country once again to number one. We are the caring bunch. We are the caring A-team. We want our elderly, for instance, to age with dignity. For years we know the stigma that has been associated with the carding home. And so I've given a commitment that we will transform the carding home into a modern elderly and indigent care facility, such that it can feature a daycare center where elderly across the constituency and across the country can socialize during the middle of the day while their loved ones are out at work. Our people must age with dignity, and so we give that commitment. I spoke about this next item some time ago, and sometimes it's an overlooked, very important point in our country. I want to be part of leading a national effort to fully integrate differently abled persons into our society. You see, we have to amend and enforce building codes, because right now someone with a wheelchair cannot access a large number of buildings in town. Someone has to do their business for them. We are saying we have to revamp that and make sure that all of our buildings in town are disability compliant. We have to build disability compliant affordable homes. And we must dedicate some homes for those who are differently abled. We must provide sheltered employment, because many cannot work in traditional employment routes. And so we, as a progressive and caring government, must know to identify areas in which we can provide special employment for persons with disabilities. We must make it standard that there are tax concessions on specific equipment for persons with disabilities. And so I want people with disabilities and loved ones and friends of those with disabilities to know that you are on our mind here in the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party. And finally this evening, I want to talk about another very important thing that sometimes gets overlooked. We have to preserve and memorialize our history. St. Kitts and Nevis is the birthplace of democracy in the Caribbean. And in 1935, we had what was known, or what has become to be known, as the Buckley's Uprising. But the only thing that memorializes that right now is a billboard which I sponsored many years ago and continue to sponsor. But under a St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party government, with Konris Maynard as your representative and a minister in government, we will finally erect and construct the 1935 Buckley's Uprising Monument. The rest of the Caribbean must know that this is the place where democracy started in the Caribbean. And the gentleman who was there at those times to keep the peace and keep things calm was none other than Sir Joseph Nathaniel France. Sir Joseph Nathaniel France. And under Konris Maynard as the next representative in government, we are going to transform his home into a museum, a national museum. You will be able to walk in and see exactly how he used to live as a humble servant of the people. And then the last piece of that historical puzzle we will put is we will engrain and imprint his footsteps from his house down St. Johnson Avenue and across Keon Street down to Church Street to pass by Massey's house and end also by government headquarters. So that everyone who takes a walk from the village to town will remember the huge footsteps that have been left and made by our great national hero, Sir Joseph Nathaniel France. We have to preserve our history. We have to be able to tell our young ones, those who went before us and trod the path before us. And so, comrades, as I end here tonight, I ask once again, are you ready? Are you ready to elect the A-team? Are you ready to elect a new Prime Minister in Dr. Terence Drew? We have the best team. And this is a time, as I've said time and time again, we are voting to save the soul of our nation. And it is only the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party that is equipped right now to do that. If there was ever a time, I keep saying, to vote for Labour, now is that time. Those of you who are listening, who may not associate with the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party, this is a time when we believe you have to vote for your country. Vote for stability. Vote for certainty. And we give a commitment that we will not take that vote for granted, but we will right the ship and put St. Kitts-Nevis back to number one. So I ask again, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Well, go out on August 5th and put the X by the hand. Vote Labour. Vote Konris in 3. Vote Kenny in number 5. And vote for all 8 Labour candidates. I love you. Good night. God bless.